Good day everyone, my name is Alfred Z, Rada, and I'm going to report about learning hierarchies define what intellectual skills are to be learned and sequence of instruction. So, when we say hierarchy, it's a system in which people or things are placed in a series of levels with different importance or status. So, before I go deeper with my topic, let me introduce to you first who is Gagny. So, Robert Niels Gagny is an educational psychologist best known for his book Condition of Learning. So, Gagny suggests that learning tasks for intellectual skills can be organized in a hierarchy according to complexity, such as stimulus coordination, response generation, procedure following, use of terminology, discrimination, concept formation, rule application, and problem solving. So, stimulus coordination, this is the most basic level and involves acquiring the ability to make a simple discrimination like recognizing a specific sensory cue. For example, an infant smiles at the sight of his mother. So when the infant sees its mother, the infant will immediately smiles because it recognizes that person is his mother. Next is response generation. So learners connect specific stimuli with specific responses. For example, teaching a dog how to sit. So when you say sit, which is the stimuli, or when you say sit, which is the stimulus, the dog will immediately sit, which is a response. So the dog responds to your command, which is sit. And next is procedure following. So procedure following is the more advanced form of learning in which the subject develops the ability to connect two or more previously learned stimulus response but in a linked sequence. For example, baking a cake. So, baking a cake which the learners know how to bake and the procedure and the sequence of baking. Next is use of terminology. So, learners connect verbal symbolic with what they represent, which is the key to set of language and symbolic thinking. For example, when a child names an object, and that object is a ball, so the child says ball and also says round ball. Next is discrimination. So discrimination, learners acquire the ability to differentiate between stimuli based on specific characteristic or criteria. For example, the child can differentiate the square and the rectangle. So the child can differentiate the square and the rectangle, which is the difference between the two. Next is concept formation. So this levels involves grouping stimuli into meaningful categories or concepts based on shared attributes. For example, when the child knows the concept of mammals, so the child can categorize some animals that belongs to mammal. And next is rule application. So learners understand and apply rules or principles to solve problems or make decisions. For example, the ice is melting on fire. So the child will understand why the ice is melting on fire and solve the problem why the ice is melting on a fire. Then next is problem solving. Problem solving is the highest level in the hierarchy where learners can tackle complex problems, often involving a combination of previously mentioned skills. For example, a boy solved the Rubik's Cube. So, with a combination of the previously mentioned skill, so the boy solved the Rubik's Cube. So, which is the boy meet his goal of solving a Rubik's Cube. Next to my topic is events of learning operates on the learners in ways that constitute the condition of learning. So, these events should satisfy or provide the necessary conditions of learning and serve as the basis for designing instruction and selecting appropriate media. The theory includes 9 instructional events and corresponding cognitive process. So, first one is gaining attention or perception. So, this event grabs the learner's attention in order to prepare them in learning. So, for example, you are going to start a very eye-catching lesson in order to grasp the learner's attention. Next is informing learners of the objective or expectancy. You are going to clearly state the objective of that certain lesson. Right? For example, in the beginning of the lesson, you will put an objective that in the end of this module, you will able to identify the main components of a computer. So you clearly stated the objective or what the learner is going to learn on your lesson. Next is stimulating recall of prior learnings or retrieval. So before you're going to teach a new lesson, you are going first to review the previous knowledge that the learners acquired. Next is presenting the stimulus or selective perception. So in delivering the main content of your lesson or discussion, you are not going to deliver it in one way. You should use a various way of delivering your content, which is through lectures, videos, interactive simulation, or reading materials. Next is providing learners guidance or semantic encoding. So in this, you are going to offer step-by-step instruction and examples to enable learners to understand the task that you are going to give them. So before you are going to give tasks, you should provide a step-by-step procedure or instruction and also an example to enable them to understand. Next is eliciting performance or responding. So ask learners to solve problems, answer questions, or complete tasks that requires them to apply the newly acquired knowledge or skills. Next is providing feedback or reinforcement. So learners should give feedbacks on their performance, pointing out what they did well and what they can improve. And 8 is assessing performance or retrieval. So in order to evaluate the mastery of the content of learners, you are going to administrate quizzes, tests, or assessments. Next is enhancing retention and transfer or generalization. So encourage learners to use their knowledge in real-world situations or provide additional resources for further practice and application. And that's all for my report. Thank you.